Hello everybody, and today is all about frogs. I'm so excited. Anyone who knows me knows I love frogs. I think they're one of the coolest animals in the entire world, and I love raising frogs. Usually we do that in class. We didn't get a chance to do that this year, but I've been working out in my garden a lot, and little frogs keep jumping out from all over in the corners, like dark places and little places where they can hide so they don't get eaten, because I bet they're really tasty. But they're super cool animals. And here's an old Let's Find Out magazine about frogs. Can you say ribbit? If you were a frog, you would make your own special sound, and you might not know this, but it might be ribbit, ribbit. It might be a peep, beep. It might be a whistle. Can't whistle very well. Or it might be a squeak. And I have some frog sounds that I'm going to play for you, and I'll put those in the video. But today, I want to just have a few froggy facts from this Let's Find Out magazine that I've had for a really long time. What if you were a frog? So we're imagining we are a frog. If you were a frog, you could jump with your long legs. So these green words all say the same thing. If you were a frog. So you could read along with me just like we do in class. And you would have long, strong back legs to help you jump. If you were a frog, you could see with two eyes on top of your head. And we call this bulging eyes because they come out a little ways. Our eyes don't really do that. They don't bulge out that much, but froggy eyes do, and they have little layers that cover their eyeballs so that it protects it when they're in the water. If you were a frog, you could catch insects with your tongue, and that tongue is long and sticky. So once that tongue comes out and gets an insect, it's going to stick right on there, and that frog is going to gobble it up. If you were a frog, you could climb with your sticky toes. Now, frogs can climb on really tiny stems and blades of grass, and this one is a red-eyed tree frog, and it has especially sticky pads because they actually don't live in the water. They just live in moist conditions. So somewhere near where there's a lot of water, but not in the water. Buzzword, metamorphosis. Oh, I have a video with a whole song about that. I'll put that one in the frog file too, so you can watch that. That one is really funny. If you were a frog, you would go through a metamorphosis. That means you would change a lot as you grew up. You start as one thing and then you end up as something else. Another animal that does that is butterflies. Egg, tadpole, tadpole with legs. The back legs come first. Then the front legs come and you're a froglet, which is a little frog. You still might have some tail, and then that tail gradually disappears and you become an adult frog. So it changes. When it's a tadpole and a tadpole with legs, they live only in the water and they actually eat plants. Once they become a froglet, they can hop out of the water and they can sit on rocks or leaves that are floating, and they still mainly will eat tiny insects, and they will eat a few plants. But once they become a froglet, they like to find insects to eat. And then adult frogs eat lots of insects, and that's why we like them, because otherwise we would have way too many insects. I liked on the back of this one, there were addition equations about frogs. This frog ate 5 worms and 3 grasshoppers. I thought that was a funny addition. And that equaled 8 altogether, which is kind of funny. All right, so I just wanted to introduce frogs to you a little bit and get started with our drawing. So here I have my paper that has the word frogs on it down in the corner. And you have one of these in your packet that you picked up from school. Everybody got one of these. And I hope you saved it because we're going to do a frog drawing. Now, you're going to want to use a regular pencil to do your drawing and try not to erase. If you erase too much, then you can see the eraser marks when you're doing watercolor paint. So you might want to do your drawing very lightly to start with, and then you could make it the lines a little bit darker. But here's the process. We do the drawing, then we do the watercolor painting. I'm going to do a really fabulous mixing lesson with you. And then after it dries completely, it has to be all dry, then you can take a marker and outline, or a parent can do that for you. But you don't want to do that first because some markers will just like run all over your painting if they get wet. So do that very last after your painting is all dry. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to draw 2 ovals sort of near the top of your paper because the frog body, most of it is down below. So we're just going to have a little bit above the eyes. So in the top part, you're going to draw 2 ovals. So here are mine. They don't have to be perfect. Mine are not exact. None of us can make exact circles. And I actually am going to do mine with a darker pencil. I'm going to draw a little bit thicker line so you can see it. You'll want to do a light line like I did first. Just a really thin, light line. Don't do it too dark. Otherwise, your pencil marks will just show through. Sometimes you can cover up. Now, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision about what kind of eyes you're going to want to have. So before we do that, let's draw our little curves above. And this line goes like so. Right at the base of your oval and a little bit over, you're going to go up and over this eye, and then you're going to make a little bridge, and then you'll go up and over the other eye, and you're going to stop right at the base of those ovals. So you can go ahead and make that line. And then you're going to have to decide something. You're going to have to decide how you want the eyes to look. So here are some of your choices. You could have the eyes looking down, and they should always be looking the same direction, otherwise they'll look crazy. You can have them in the middle. They could be on the edge, same edge, left or left, so they look like they're looking over that way. They could be in the middle, or like my little practice drawing here, they could be up at the top and looking off to the side. Maybe he's looking for a bug somewhere. So it could be above him, or it could be below him. I like these eyes too. All of them look good. So you just decide where you're going to put your dots. And I am going to make mine looking up today. So I'll put my dot. And a dot, remember, is a circle that's colored in. And if you do a dot to the side, you need to do the other one on the same side. So you don't want one eye looking that way and one eye looking that way. Our eyes don't do that. Frog eyes do a little bit, but we want them to be looking at one thing, something over here. So you've got your dots, and now you're ready for the next line. Okay, so the next line starts here. It's a curved line. It goes out, comes around, and it stops over on this side. So you're going to go out a little ways, curve down, go across, and then curve back up. And it doesn't really matter if it's perfect. I'm a lot bigger on this side than that side, but maybe he's just looking that direction. And then in the middle, you're going to do one sort of straight line that follows that. And wow, you've got his whole head there. Okay, so the next line is kind of his neck. So it comes down, he's got a little patch there. It's kind of like a scoop. And then we're going to make 2 long, slightly curved lines, okay? So we're going to just make one there and one there. And you notice that I did not meet the 2 at the bottom. I left a big space here. And that's space for his front legs, okay? And if you look at my practice drawing, we're going to put those legs just like that in front of him so he looks like he's sitting. He's got to hold himself up somehow. All right, so we need to draw 2 lines, and this is going to be the bottom of our painting, so we can really go to the bottom. And I like to angle mine a little bit. Now I notice that frog feet, some of them that live in water have pointy toes and webs in between so they can swim. And it doesn't really matter how you do those frog feet. If you just do, let me move this up so you can see better. If you just do some sharp lines like you're making a star. Okay, and I'm going to make another leg, and I do like his leg. I tend to like his legs to be kind of thick. Okay, I'm not going to get too crazy about that. That's fine. That looks like he's just sitting there. Okay, and now I can come down here and I can make another line there if I want. Finally, we have to make his back legs, and people have a lot of trouble with this one, but you know, you just have to be brave. You have to just decide, I'm going to make this line, and here we go. And what you're going to do is from the side of him, you're going to make a line that looks like half of a heart almost. And that's going to be his big, strong back legs. Okay? So just decide where it's going to start. His legs are going to start right here. Go out a little ways like you're making a heart, and come in, and then make those spiky toes. Spiky toes. All right, and on the other side, you're going to make another one. Just be brave. Just go whoosh. And there we go. Just do a big one. All right. That is actually all the drawing that we're going to do. And we stop. We stop with the drawing right there. And I'm going to put the painting part on another video. So finish your drawing and don't color anything in. We're going to do the rest in watercolor, and I'm going to do a mixing lesson for you. Okay, so that'll be frog part 2, and I will see you then.